Pythagorean theorem goes a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The thing that matters is the c. Okay? The c is the hypotenuse. It is the side across from the 90. The other two sides are the legs. So, as far as the A and B, you can switch them around. It doesn't matter which one is the leg, but the hypotenuse definitely has to be C. Okay? Question so far? Okay, let's look at the first one. So, we're looking for X. Is X the hypotenuse or is X the leg? It's the hypotenuse, so that's the C. Okay? So the other two can go in whatever order you want to put them in, but you got to square each of them and add them. So you're going to have 9 squared plus 12 squared equals X squared. Okay. Use your calculator. Find 9 squared plus 12 squared.
I was telling him.
Okay, what do I do on both sides to get X? Take the square root. So X is 15. Questions about number 1? So number 2. Which side is the hypotenuse? The 24, because it's across from the 90. So that's the C. That means that X and 6 are the legs. Again, they can go in whatever order that you put them in as long as the C is by itself. Okay? So we're going to have X squared plus 6 squared equals 24 squared. Questions? Now you could have 6 squared plus X squared equals 24 squared. As long as the 24 is on the other side of the equals, because that's the hypotenuse. Okay, what do you think we're going to do here to solve this one? We're not going to take a square root first. We've got to get X by itself. So we're going to square each of these and move this over. So we're going to subtract. So in your calculator, you can do that in one step if you would like. You could put 24 squared minus 6 squared. Or you can find each one and then subtract. That's up to you. 540. Okay, so now what do you think we're going to do?
Square root.
Now, I will tell you, when we square root this one, it's different than the first one. The first one, when we took the square root, it came out to be 15. It was really nice. Okay? If you put square root of 540 in the calculator, you're going to get a decimal. Okay? So technically, what I would ask you for you to do at that point is start with 540, break it down the way that we have been forever. Okay? So 540 divided by 2 is it 270? Divide by 2 again. Divide by 5. Divide by 3. I know that one. Divide by 3 again, and then we're done. So we got a bunch of pairs here. What do you do with the pairs? Circle them and multiply. So 6 goes on the outside. Whatever's not a pair goes on the inside and multiplied. So what goes on the inside? 15, because 5 times 3 is 15. This is really the correct answer. And if your test is a multiple choice test, that's the way the answer is going to be presented. Okay? Now, from this point, if you would like to put the decimal, I'm okay with the decimal because the decimal is correct. Put 6 square root of 15 in the calculator. Do you get the same decimal as when you did square root of 540? Yes, you should. So if you absolutely could check your answers that way, then that will work. Okay. So what answer did we actually get with a decimal? It was 43 point.
23.
Oh, 23.
23.2379.
Okay. We're going to round it to the 10th. 23.2. The reason we're going to round it to the 10th is because some of the problems that we're going to do today, when we do some of our assignments, the problems will say round to the nearest 10th. Okay? So if you put it in the calculator and get that long decimal, the 10th is the first place after the decimal. Look after it to see if the number's 5 or greater. If it is, you round it up. If not, you leave it. Okay? Any questions about number 2? Okay, let's look at number 3. First thing I need to figure out is which one's the hypotenuse. Okay? So Nate, which side's the hypotenuse? Which one? 21, you mean? Oh, you were looking at a different number. Yes. You were looking at number 5. On number 3, 21 is the hypotenuse because that's the part across from the 90. So there's the hypotenuse. That's the C. The other 2 things are the A and the B. So set it up and solve it. Should be getting 377. Then what do I do to it? Square root. Number 4. Number 4 is very weird looking. There's several right triangles. We're just going to do each part separately. Okay? So there's a right triangle here that will help me find y. There's a right triangle here that will help me find x. The fact that that's a right triangle up there at the top doesn't really help me to find x and y. It's just that we have 2 problems that we have to do so that we can find x and y separately. Okay? Okay, so looking at your answers, x was 10.3 if you round it to the 10th, and y was 5.8 if you round it to the 10th. Now, I would want to see a little bit of work, so maybe you didn't show me any work. The work at least that I want to see before you put it in the calculator is this right here. Okay? I want to see that first step. You don't have to show me all the other steps, but I do want to see the first step because that helps me to know that you knew exactly where x was supposed to go. If x was supposed to go there or there. Okay? And then the final answer. You don't have to show me the square root step, but I want to see the first step and then I want to see the answer. Okay? Let's look at number 5 and 6. 5 and 6 are a little different. They look more difficult, but honestly, they're the same kind of problem. They just made it look weird. So on 5 and 6, what you're doing is you're actually trying to find the height of both of those triangles. The height when you have an isosceles triangles, because these are isosceles, and I know it doesn't show you that, but they're supposed to be. These are isosceles, and you're trying to find the height of the isosceles triangle. It makes right triangles. Okay? You can only do the Pythagorean theorem on right triangles, so if it wasn't isosceles, it wouldn't be a right triangle. Okay? Or the sides wouldn't be the same. So, if I want to find x, I need to use one side of those 2 triangles. It doesn't matter which one. Okay? I already know that I've got the 12 there, and I have this 10 on the bottom. The 10 is the whole entire thing. Okay? But because it's isosceles, whenever I drop that right triangle or that like height there in the middle, it does cut it in half, so this is 5. Okay? So, if I'm trying to find x and I have 5 at the bottom and 12, is 12 the hypotenuse or not? Yes, it is. So that's the C, okay, because it's across from the 90. So we have x squared plus 5 squared equals 12 squared. Alright, so I saw most of your answers and I saw a 10.9. So any questions about that one? Alright, number 6. On number 6, I'm wanting to find the whole side down there on the bottom. If I do Pythagorean theorem, I'm only going to find this part right here first. So what am I going to have to do after I find that part to find the final answer? Times it by 2. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem. Which part is the hypotenuse? 15. So it's 9 squared plus y squared equals 15 squared. Subtract it over and figure out what y is. I think you get 12. Y is not what we're looking for. We're really looking for x, so then we need to multiply by 2. So what do we get for x? 24.